Welcome to A1R Psychic Radio here on Moonstruck TV with Amanda Hall Psychic all the way from the Gold Coast. I hope you've had an absolutely fantastic week this last week. I don't know about you, but my producer and I were just talking about off air how quickly the weeks are sort of flying. I don't know, I blinked this week and I missed it, I think, and I'm sure you sort of felt the same way. It's, I think as we get older, I think our lives seem to sort of speed up. When you're very young and you're waiting for the festive time of the year and Christmas and, your presents and holidays and all that sort of stuff, it seems to drag. But as you get older, you sort of blink and you miss another year. So anyway, moving right along with the show, I've had my little power of wisdom for you. Now, we're going to be featuring this week on the Simply Tarot card of the week, the Ten of Cups. Now, this is one of the brightest, happiest cards in the deck, and I really like this card. When I see this come out in a reading, I sort of immediately sort of think, oh, we can all exhale and everything's going to be right with the world, because it is the card of happiness, of good things, party or celebration. It just eases all the tensions that you may have been experiencing in your life. It's not necessarily a super powerful card, but what it's saying is things are on the turn. Things are going to start to become a lot more carefree. We can sort of feel happy and celebrate life. And I think we forget to do that in our very busy lives. And that's why I mentioned, that you blink and you miss another week. And I think that because we are so focused on the day-to-day things that we need to get done in our lives, we sometimes forget to stop, smell the roses, smell the coffee, and just take stock of being in the moment and say, I'm really grateful that I'm here, that I'm able to celebrate that I'm still alive. I've still got plans. I've still got dreams, that I have family, I have friends, I have things in my life to celebrate, the simple things, the little smile from a small child showing you their accomplishments with a drawing or a painting or something that they did at school. They're things that we take for granted in our very busy lives. And I think in this next week, if we can all stop at least once and acknowledge something positive in our lives, I think we will bring a lot more joy into our lives in the coming weeks when we're going to be so super busy. Now, this week we've got a lot of stuff happening astrologically, so I'm not going to feature a famous actor or actress of the zodiac this week, because I want to talk about a couple of the very long-term transits that have been going on that are affecting each and every one of us. And the first one I want to talk about is Jupiter, the planet of transformation, expansion, opportunity, is back in the sign of Sagittarius. It's been there all this year, and it is the ruling planet of Sag. So what that means, it's the planet that's been assigned to the sun sign of Sagittarius. But how does that affect the rest of the other 11 signs in the zodiac, I hear you ask? Well, it does affect each and every one of us. Now, because Jupiter is not necessarily nearing the end of his 12-month transit, for Jupiter it's going to actually be a 16, 17-month transit. So it's about a year and a half, which is a little bit longer than normal. So we're about 3/4 of the way through. So if you look at the things that have changed in your life this year, have you had opportunity to expand your life right out? Have you had opportunities to bring on board new things or meet new people or maybe travel or start to look at your belief systems in a different way? And that doesn't always bring in religion, but it can. It's your own personal religion or what you believe in. Now, for many people, Jupiter in Sagittarius this year has been a year of questioning. Jupiter does rule the higher mind. Now, the higher mind turns around and says, well, okay, what's this trivial rubbish that you're dealing with? Isn't it time to sort of let go of that and bring in something more substantial, or pare back your life back to basics, to bring the things into your life that are really essential, that you can focus 90% of your time on, say, one or two issues instead of, 2%, 1% on many, many issues and not achieving anything. So it's been a very mixed bag this time with Jupiter and Sagittarius. And being a Sag, I can honestly say I look forward to these cycles that happen every 12 years, because I think you beauty things are going to be sort of almost fantastic. It's a time when you can make hay while the sun shines and bring to you the things that you want to in your life. And some people in the very early stages of astrology, I think, used to believe when Jupiter went back into your sign, it was a time of great fortune, of when you could really make plenty of money in your life. I don't know that it's necessarily expansion in that way. good fortune isn't always about money. It's about other areas of your life where you might feel very fortunate. So, what I'm suggesting to each and every one of you is look at what you've achieved this year. Look at what maybe you still want to achieve. Is there still some clearing out to do, some letting go? So, being more honest with yourself and being honest with what you want out of your life. Not necessarily sitting there and saying wishful thinking, oh, I wish I had this and I wish I had that. What are you actively doing to help that along? Because once Jupiter moves out of Sagittarius and into Capricorn, the energy of Jupiter will not be as strong or as intense as it is now. When a planet's back in its own ruling sign, it's home, it's very comfortable, it's at its maximum energy. So now's the time to really capitalize on that. We've got until the end of March 2020 to be able to work with this energy of Jupiter before Jupiter moves into Capricorn and joins Pluto and Saturn there. So that's going to sort of shake things up a little bit there. But when we get closer to that time, I will talk more about that. But for the moment, I think we need to be really comfortable in this last 5 months of Jupiter in Sagittarius. Let's make it work for us. What have you personally done this year to expand your own horizons? What have you done as far as your finances? Have you instigated new ways of maybe generating more income? Or is it just the fact that you've taken on board some better budgeting skills and aren't spending as much and looked at reducing your debt? So in the long term, that will make you more fortunate and have more money at your disposal because you've reduced your debt, taken control of your finances, and that sets you up for a much easier future in time to come. There's many different ways of looking at Jupiter in Sagittarius. Yes, Jupiter always says that there's opportunity for expansion and opportunity, but it's us that has to get up off the couch and make those opportunities a reality. Nobody knocks on the door and says, would you like this or would you like that? We have to actively participate in life. And I hear so many of my clients talk about, oh, but I put together a vision board or I wrote it down and I put it on the fridge and, but nothing's happened. And I sort of gently suggest to them, well, what part in this did you play? Did you actively get up off the couch and start to put this in motion? Did you do anything about it? Oh, no, I've just been waiting for it to happen because I lit a candle or I sent it out there or I put it on my vision board so it's supposed to happen. Well, that's all well and fine. That's setting the intent, but that's not necessarily actively making something happen. So that's your homework for this week is, work out in what ways that you can expand your life and make your life better and not waste this amazing energy of Jupiter in Sagittarius. And what can you get up off the couch and make happen? The other planetary configuration I want to talk about, which affects each and every one of us, whether it's on a personal level or whether it's on a global level or a political level, is Neptune in Pisces, which is retrograde or going backwards until the end of November. Now, this is really peeling back the layers of our lives. It's sort of showing us the things that we were deluding ourselves or the end of an illusion. Now, isn't it interesting to see things on the world stage where the so-called chosen ones or the ones that have been voted in by the public are all of a sudden starting to lose their luster? As we peel back these layers, we're starting to see our political leaders for who they truly are, warts and all. And in some cases, that's not necessarily pretty, or it's not exactly what we thought we voted for or what we understood. And maybe, again, that comes back to us being too busy and not paying enough attention to what's actually going on around us and sort of, I'll deal with that tomorrow. And then when we get to voting day, any old person will do. I'll just put a mark here and get my name crossed off the list. So I think it's now time that we're starting to see things in their true sense of what they really are, what they represent, what people represent, what the job represents, what our environment represents around us. And I think it's a time of not just in the political arena, but I think we're starting to see the layers of illusions and things like that and the stories that we've been told about climate change and weather events and things like that. We're all starting to take a little bit more notice now and form our own opinions on what we believe to be the truth or what we see clarity in. And we're not necessarily just following the crowd like sheep anymore. We're all starting to have an opinion. And we're all starting to voice that. And I think that's a good thing. And this is why we're starting to see people power starting to come into its own way. where we're starting to see people taking to the streets, protesting, getting their voices heard, sort of saying, it's about time that we got serious about climate change. Let's stop destroying the planet, not just for us, but for future generations. And we're seeing people that are really standing up and being counted, people that may not have ever done this before in their lives. They've got to, their 60s and 70s, and all of a sudden they're in a protest march because they strongly believe in we're all handling this wrong, and they've got to get their voice heard. And I say, hallelujah, let's take our hats off to those people that have got the courage to stand up for the conviction of what they believe in. They will make the planet a better place. And it's really important that we all don't waste this time, because the veil is coming off now till the end of November, as I said. Then Neptune will go direct, and then that's when we can really start to put these things into action. But let's look at, in this next month, what can we see? What do we need to look at? What have we been deluding ourselves about? What have we been ignoring? We need to peel those layers back and look very carefully at what's going on in the world around us. So this week, quickly, before we take our callers, we're featuring the Secrets of Tarot candle this week. We launched our 4th edition of Secrets of the Tarot collection a couple of weeks ago worldwide. And Secrets of Tarot was the candle that actually complements the Secrets of Tarot set very well. So if you're starting to learn to work with tarot cards and you've purchased one of my sets, this is the perfect candle for you for that set. This is lavender and vanilla. And it's the reasons I like that is because lavender is very calming, and vanilla actually clears the energy around you and leaves a nice sweet smelling residue behind. So it's always important when you do a clearing that you put something else back into your environment that's sweet smelling, that's nice, that attracts good positive vibes to you. So that's the Secrets of Tarot candle. Extra large candle will burn for up to about 100 hours, has the dual wick system. So this week also too, I've made up a little gift box, including the Secrets of Tarot candle. I've got 3 different candles there. We've got Passion, we've got Love, and we've got Secrets of Tarot. This is to show you that the gift box sets can be made up with everything that you might choose. You don't necessarily have to choose 3 of the same. What a perfect gift for yourself for Christmas. A nice set of candles and a set of Secrets of Tarot cards to sort of start your new year off, sort of learning more about your own future. For those of you that don't want to work with a candle, you can work with a melt warmer. You can pick these up at your local department store, very inexpensive. They are electric. A couple of teaspoons of wax at the beginning of the week. Add half a teaspoon a day. These are great if you've got a confined space or you don't want to work with a flame. Much safer to be around pets and children. So that's a milk warmer. And I'll just quickly show you our latest baby, Secrets of Tarot, available worldwide or can be purchased on our website. We have free postage here in Australia, but for our overseas customers, we do have a flat postage rate. So you can happily shop to your heart's content and only pay one lot of postage, no matter how big your order is. So we're going to move the show along and we're going to talk to Lisa in Birmingham in Alabama. Are you there, Lisa? Hello, Lisa.
Yes.
Hello, Lisa.
Hello.
This is Amanda. How can I help you?
I'm here.
Do you have a question for me, Lisa?
Yes. Do you see me getting employment anytime soon?
Okay, Lisa, let's have a look at that for you. It's really interesting, Lisa, because they're showing me that there is a lot of endings, change and transformation coming up around you. And I think you've been in the whole of this year sort of letting go of a lot of old stuff, sort of like clearing out the closets of your life. And I'm pleased to say that's going to lead you now to employment. I don't feel it's very far away. I'm sort of seeing an opportunity here in the next week or so, but I'm seeing it as starting out as just sort of temporary work or, filling in for somebody. Like there's 2 weeks work there and you think, well, that's better than nothing, but I would have preferred a full-time job or a more permanent arrangement. I'm going to say to you, grab that with both hands because I feel it will lead into a more permanent arrangement anyway. So even though it starts out as a temporary position, it leads into a permanent position for you, Lisa, and that's good. Each fortnight they're sort of asking you, can you do another 2 weeks? Can you do another 2 weeks? And it's sort of in the new year, I think then it will lead into a permanent opportunity for you. So that's good. But your whole life is starting to turn around now, Lisa, because you've done the hard yards. and really listened and looked and sort of removed things out of your life that are no longer serving you, you've now opened the doorways to some bigger, better, brighter opportunities to come in because you've worked so hard on yourself. And it's been a very interesting year in lots of ways. But I think the major lesson that you've learnt, Lisa, is you've learned how to say no to people, haven't you?
Yes. Yes.
And I want to say a packet of gold stars coming your way, Lisa, because you've done a really good job on that. That was really tough for you because you're such a giving person. You don't like to let people down, but you've now learnt that you've got to put Lisa at number one, and that's good.
Okay. Okay.
So have you been looking at it, sort of maybe making some changes to where you're living, Lisa, sort of improving things around you or moving the furniture around?
Yes, I've been trying to clean my house because I've been wanting to move. That's what I've been trying to do. It's like I don't know where to start. I've been trying to clean some stuff out of here.
Yeah, I can understand that. And it's always daunting when you sort of decide you're going to do that and you want to sort of get ready. I think just sort of wherever you start first is okay. I don't think there necessarily needs to be any, order of service here. It's whatever you're drawn to first, start there and sort of work your way through from there. But I do feel that there will be a move. I don't think it's going to be this year, Lisa. I'm sort of looking towards the early part of next year, but sort of,
Okay.
getting yourself organised. And, and it's good that you started, you feel that you've got to start cleaning and get, prepare and get ready for the move, because that's the next thing on the agenda past the job. So you're really listening to what your guides are telling you from the other side. And they keep saying to me, more than a packet of gold stars coming to Lisa. She's really listening. She's doing well. You've passed all their tests and that's good. So soon we'll be able to go into the wishing well. They're showing me a ginormous pink heart. Now, normally when they do that, Lisa, that usually indicates new love coming into your life. So is that something that you were hoping for?
Yeah, a ring, a wedding.
Well, they're showing me this big, it's a very oversized pink heart. So if the new love hasn't arrived just yet, it won't be far away, and it's going to be the love to end all loves. It's just beautiful. They didn't show me what he looked like or anything like that. They just showed me this really, really big, ginormous pink heart. So I feel that that's a good, I think that's amazing, Lisa, because not only are you going to have a job, you're going to have a move and you're going to meet the love of your life. I mean, what more could you want besides winning the lottery and having good health?
Yes, yes. That's true. Oh, I hope so.
So,
Wow.
What's Sweetie?
No, I was saying wow.
Yeah, no, I think your life is just going amazingly well, Lisa, but you've done the hard work, sweetheart. Nobody's handing this to you. It's because you've done the work on yourself, listen to what the guidance is, and you're actively taking, baby steps every single day towards making these changes, and that's good. Slow and steady always wins the race, sweetheart. So you just get ready, start cleaning, get ready for your new man, your new job, and your new life, sweetie. And it's been lovely to talk to you. We're going to
Okay,
talk
thank
to
you.
Jean.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, Lisa. We're going to talk to Jean in Mandeville, Louisiana. Are you there, Jean?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
It's lovely to connect with you, Jean. Do you have a question for me, sweetheart?
Yes. Could you please tell me? Can you tell me what's coming about between now and Christmas time for me?
What's going to happen in your life between now and Christmas time? Is that what you asked?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. The first thing they're showing me is endings and changes coming up for you too, Jean. It's a period of time where you and both Lisa have both gone through massive changes. But for you, Jean, I think it's more clear cut. It's like there's something that you've got to change like yesterday. So is there something, a project that you've been working on that you sort of feel that this last bit has been the hardest to sort of push through?
Yes.
Well, they're showing me that you've got to give it all you've got to get whatever that is completed, so that then we can start to sort of breathe a bit easier and sort of, I don't say necessarily relax and coast to the end of the year, but we can sort of do it in a way that we're a lot more confident about the choices, the changes that you've made have been right.
It's incredible that you hit on that.
Yeah, I don't want to say to you that you've been too hard on anybody, Jean, but I think whatever road that you had to take, and if that was cutting people out of your life or giving them a lecture or whatever the case was, I think you did precisely enough. I don't think you were too tough, and I don't think you were too easy. So when you worked out that was what you had to do, you really struggled with it. It wasn't easy for you to sort of turn around and do what you had to do. But I feel it was very necessary. Is there somebody that you're expecting to see that you haven't seen in a very, very long time before the end of the year? Is somebody coming for a visit, or are you visiting someone you haven't seen in a long time?
I can't think of anybody. I mean, it's possible, but I can't think of anybody.
Okay, because they were showing me sort of like out of nowhere, contact with someone you haven't heard from in a very, very long time. I'm not talking about 2 years, I'm talking about a very long time. And it's like, wow, this is amazing. You know, like, yes, you're excited to see them, but at the same time you think, well, why? After all this time, are they reaching out? What is there a reason? You know, and that sort of then puts you back from the excitement a little bit to think, well, hang on a minute. Do I need to be cautious about this? I'm going to say to you, no, you don't need to be super cautious about it. I think they've gone through a lot of changes in their life, and I think they're reaching out to people that were important to them at different stages in their life and just sort of making that reconnection. I also sort of feel as if you've mastered or overcome a major health issue. Is that what you've been working so strongly on this year, to sort of turn your health around?
Yes, everything that you've said.
Yeah, well, I think we're almost there. It's like, I don't want to see you drop the ball on your health just now. You know what I mean? Like, we're almost there. Keep going. Whatever you need to do, keep going with it. You know, and I know there's some days there where it's a real struggle and you think, oh, is this all worth it? I'm just so tired. But they're showing me you've got to push through that. You know, you've got to keep going. And I think it's harder as we get older, Jean, to sort of, we know what we should and shouldn't do, but then some days it's like, oh, this is just all too hard. I'll just do this. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. You know, I think we can all have a slack attack, as I call it, once in a blue moon, but I don't think we should make that as a regular part of our routine. Do you know what I mean? I'm a firm believer in good nutrition, but I think every now and then I think we can all go and have something that's not particularly healthy and it won't do us any harm. You know what I mean? But we don't make that the normal. We make that the exception to the rule. And that's what I think you need to do. I think you've been so good. I think you're allowed to have a little bit of a treat every now and then. And I think you can sort of ease up a little bit, but I still want you to push through, because I still feel that the days that you feel really tired and think, I can't be bothered, or I haven't got the energy, that's the day I want you to push. And then, you know, in a few days' time, when everything's going great, that's the time that you can give yourself a little treat. It's sort of like, you know, we need to keep that going. People haven't been truthful with you either, Jean, and I think you've worked out a lot of that this year, of who's been truthful and who hasn't over the time. And it's like, that's been your decision then, whether or not they stay part of your life or how that's sort of structured. I think that's almost in place now as well. 2020 is looking a much, much easier year, Jean, than what 2019 was. 2019, you'll look back at that and say, thank goodness that one's over. I don't want to do that again in a hurry. But there's been tremendous progress. So that's the positive to take out of this year. You know, even though it's been a year of action and change and, you know, very hard work in some cases, it's been a year of progress. So that's why I think we want to shut the door on it and say, well, I don't want to do that again. I'd rather a little bit of an easier time coming my way, and that's what you're going to attract. So certainly things are certainly on the improve between now and the end of the year, Jean. I hope that sort of helped you with the answers that you were looking for.
Oh, you touched on everything. That's incredible. And you even gave me hope for 2020. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're very, very welcome, sweetie, and enjoy the holiday season that's coming up your way. I think you're going to find right from Halloween onwards, things are going to start really improving for you, Jean.
Well, thank you so much. I needed to hear that too. But everything that you said, 100%. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome, Jean. That was lovely to talk with Jean and Lisa today. And for those of you that didn't get an opportunity to talk to me, I mean, there's always a message that can be taken out of the readings that we get to perform here on the show. They're not just for the people that we're talking to. Quite often you'll find that there's little snippets of information or a message or an answer for you that didn't get the chance to ask the question. So readings, even though they're very personal for the clients that phone in, there's always a much bigger message that goes out there to other people that are watching the show. So I hope that you enjoy what we bring you here each week on A1R Psychic Radio. I try and keep it sort of informative and teaching, as well as sort of sharing with you some of my knowledge of being in the psychic industry for over 40 years. And I can assure you no 2 days are the same in this sort of work, but it's something that makes my heart sing when you're able to help people and give them some peace of mind, give them something positive to hang on to. And that's what I believe being spiritual is about. It's not about fame or money or recognition. It's about being able to help people like Jean and Lisa and everybody else that we help throughout our time here on the show. So until next week, you've all got your homework with Jupiter in Sagittarius, and make sure you keep peeling those layers back and know who you're dealing with and who are your local politicians and what can you do to bring about changes in your life and the environment around you. And until next week, bye for now.